How's it going, everyone? We're finally here, and we got this from Ravensburger. I'm super excited. These are press samples. We're not sure if there's packs on these starter decks, but that's not the point of today's content. Today's content is all about checking what's inside, checking what the cards are for this, analyzing the cards on which starter pack is better or which starter pack suits you. Let's go ahead and dive deep into this. All right, we're gonna start with the Ruby Amethyst, since I'm a Ruby Amethyst player. A lot of you guys know. And I'm super excited to see the cards. That Elsa is gonna be exciting. So for those of you guys who want to check out the product first, this is what the box looks like. Obviously, you're not gonna have this on your version. Like what I said, I don't know if the press samples will have a pack, but usually this comes with one pack. Just so you guys know, which is a lot of fun because you're basically I believe this is $17.99 in the UK, £17.99. It could be different, depends on wherever you are. And packs here in the UK are around £5 to £6. So pack itself is £5 already. You're paying £12 to get all these cards in it. It has 60 cards inside, damage counters if you don't have dices or if you don't have any form of damage counters. It has one paper playmat, one paper tracker token, and also game rules if you're still trying to learn the game. And like what I said, the Ultra Megadonic Juicer as well, the one booster pack that could possibly upgrade your deck right off the bat. All right, let's go ahead and open this. What's the best way to open this? I always wreck these boxes, and I don't want to wreck this box. Let's see. From the top, right? Yeah, from the top, I think. Yeah. There's this like thing that I can cut from the top. Yep. There you go. I'm most likely gonna wreck this box. I'm so super excited, but I'm a box type of guy. I usually like to keep these boxes. There you go. There you go. Very neat way of opening it. A little crack over there, but that's fine. That's totally 100% fine. So let's start with these first before we get into the decks. So here are your counters, right? You just pop them out, boom. And now if your character has 1 damage, you can add that on top of the card. And also you have a lore tracker right here that you can use with this paper right here. You can take it out, boom, and you have the -3s as well, so you don't have to use a bunch of these +1s. And you can track your lore with this, which is pretty neat, right? And this is where you put your deck, this is where you put your discard, this is where all the cards that are in play if you don't have a mat yet, and this is your inkwell. Pretty easy to track. Also, if you're a lefty, you have one as well. All right. So now that we are done with these, I'm gonna put them on the side. This is the starter guide right here. It's a pretty neat starter guide. This starter guide actually helped me a lot when I was learning the game about a year ago. So you have the rules over here. And it shows you as well the table of contents, of course, about the game, learn to play, and how to win. And then it shows you a sample of a character card, sample of an item, sample of an action, a song, and a location. Inky as well, so you know the symbols and the colors for this. We have 6 inks so far, and this is the rarity key. So you know what type of card you got, especially when you open the pack, and you definitely want to see this. Every time you see this, right, you call your mom, you call your dad, you call everyone on your contacts, and basically send a mass message of that enchanted card. You gotta flex that card. That's basically the hardest one to find, but I'm usually happy with the legendary card if I get one. And then the parts of the cards are over here. It will show you right over here with this Elsa, which is pretty neat. So you know which part of the card is which and what there are for. Teach you how to set up the game, how to play the game, and parts of your board and some mechanics as well. So that's basically it with this location cards as well. It shows you how it works, and it shows you how to finish the game, how you can win. This game is a lot of fun. Like what I said, I have been playing this card game for about a year now, and I've been having a blast. That's all I can say. All right. Now, yeah, this version, since it's a press sample, it doesn't have a pack. I just want to clarify that if you buy this on the store on August 9th or on a mass retail store on August 23rd, you will be able to get one pack from it. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and open. I can already see the Elsa. Oh, the foil looks so good. Elsa is something that I'll definitely be running on some decks. Elsa is always a cool card to have. All right, let's do this. How do I open this? I don't want to damage the cards. I don't want to wreck them. Okay. This will be out on the 9th of August. And like what I said, mass retail is on August 23rd. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Look at the shine. Look at the shine from it. I love it. I love it. This is Elsa, the fifth spirit. Like what I said, I think this card is going to see a lot of play in the competitive scene. So we have Elsa and we have Wreck-It Ralph as our foil for this box. You get two foils, one Elsa and one Wreck-It Ralph. And obviously you get a third foil guarantee from the pack. But we don't know what that's going to be. And then we have Anna. I love this card as well. That's pretty nice. I'm going to put this over here. Let me just fix our thing to make sure that you guys see every single card on this box. So we're going to start. I'm going to put these on the top, right? And then we have one copy of Olaf as well. We have Vanellope von Schweetz. We have the Sword Release. This is a card that I think is going to see some play on some decks, or maybe just team decks. This right here, Bruni, I think it's almost guaranteed that this card is going to see some play as well. This is an amazing card. So what it does is it's a 2/2 body, 4 cost, inkable, can quest for 2. It's evasive, and when this character is banished, you may draw a card. I have a couple of Archimedes as well. And King of Hearts. I know some people like this Archimedes. I somewhat like it. I'm just not sure if it's going to be for Ultra Megatonic competitive play. We have 2 King of Hearts. We can't see them anymore, so let me just push this. I want to make sure that all of these cards get proper attention. Get proper attention from it. Okay. Okay, now I gotta scooch everything over. All right. And then the next one is Finders Keepers, another card that I think is gonna see some play on this new set. It's a very basic draw. You pay 5 and you draw 3. This, however, is gonna be a card that I'm gonna be running. And I already added 2 of these on my Ruby Amethyst that's upgraded. I have a lot of Ruby Amethyst content. If you want to upgrade this deck, make sure to check those out, because that the Ruby Amethyst deck is actually one of the best and most competitive decks in here. So far, it's looking good. There are cards that can be possibly upgrade your Ruby Amethyst deck as well. So that's my 2 library right there. That's my 2 library that I'm going to be running 100% sure. Taffeta Mutton Fudge is here. All these Wreck-It Ralph cards are so cool. I love the art. It's the colors are just so nice as well. Like even on Turbo, like look at that. I'm loving the colors. I'm loving the art. It actually looks really, really good. Let me just take a closer look. It's so nice. It's so nice. Oh, the taffeta mountain fudge as well. Oh, that looks really good. Look at that card. Look at that card. It looks amazing. I love the colors that they're using for Shimmering Skies. I love colorful stuff in general. Minnie Mouse, Dazzling Dancer. Whenever this character or one of your character named Mickey Mouse challenges another character, gain 1 lore. This one is, it's an okay card. It's a pretty decent addition. And Glimmer versus Glimmer. I think this card alone makes this deck really good as a starter deck. This is not, I'm not sure if this is gonna see a lot of competitive play, this card, but for a starter deck, it's a great removal. And that is what Ruby is trying to do, is it's trying to control the board, and it's a great removal in general. We have the knock as well. The art is amazing. The art is amazing for the knock. I love it. But we can all agree that the best art, one of the best art for the set is Glimmer versus Glimmer. It just looks so good. If you guys want to take a closer look again of the card, like, look at that. It looks so nice in real life. It actually looks so nice in real life. All right, here we go. And then the next one is the Baby Archimedes. This can be your shift target for the big Archimedes. If you don't know what shift is, it's on the book. It's basically a way of you to make the card better. But you put this on top of this, and you get to play it cheaper instead of paying 5. We have Earth Giant right here. We're getting into the frozen stuff now. We have Earth Giant, Living Mountain. We have Gale Spirit, Wind Spirit. The art, it looks amazing as well on this. It looks really good. The Archimedes is really nice. The colors behind it, they all complement each other. Blue, pink, and purple is just really nice beside each other. And we have 3 copies of Anna here. 3 copies of Anna. When you play this character, each opponent chooses and exerts one of their character. And then we have another Maleficent. That's pretty nice right there. Very cash money looking card. And Retrosphere is here as well. I'm not sure if this card is gonna be good. It's quite slow in my opinion. But you can always take it out, and if you get a nice Amethyst card in your pack, go upgrade the deck. Or maybe a Ruby card as well. Hypnotic Strength. This one is a draw card. Gains Challenger +2 this turn. Pretty neat card. Rancis Fluggerbutter. Again, more Wreck-It Ralph stuff, which is something that I'm looking forward to in the set because I love Wreck-It Ralph. And then we have Snow Nana Rainbow. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Snow Nana Rainbow. It's a 3-cost uninkable rush character with a 2/4 body. We have Daisy Duck as well. A really, really cheap evasive 2-cost evasive character with a 2/2 body. Great answer to the bird Diablo. We have Mickey Mouse, 4-cost 2/4. While you have a character named Minnie Mouse in play, this character gets +2 strength, and it can quest for 2. And here's your shift target for Taffeta. We have 3 Taffeta Mutton Fudge right here. 1/2 body. When you play this character, if you have a location in play, each opponent loses 1 lore. And of course, Daisy's Date, Donald Duck, 3-cost 2/4. Whenever this character challenges another character, each opponent loses 1 lore. It's basically a baby Aladdin from set 1. I don't know if there is a way for me to actually block this shiny over here. So that's where my light is. It's already on the side. Most of it you can see anyways. Okay, and last but not the least, I actually like this card. This card might see some play. on the competitive scene, because there are cards that you need to deal with that have high HP or high willpower, should I say. And this card is a one cost uninkable. That's the downside. It's an inkable. But when you play this character, chosen character gets +2 this turn. I think that's a pretty neat card. And yeah, so there you go. Here's your Ruby Amethyst starter deck. And looking at it right now, right? It looks pretty decent to me. You get the full feeling of what Ruby Amethyst is trying to do. I think I have to say that this is a great deck to get the feel of what Ruby Amethyst is trying to do. Basically, this deck, just by looking at it, will show you that, hey, I have cards that can control the board. I have cards that allows me to draw, since I'm spending a lot of resources, a lot of cards. I'm playing a lot of cards to control the board. I have cards like the library, which allows me to gain more cards back every time I spend a card, right? I have cards like Glimmer versus Glimmer that allows me to control the deck. I sacrifice, let's say Simba already did the +2 strength on another character. Now Simba is a 2/1 character, which is pretty small. I can just use Glimmer versus Glimmer, sacrifice my baby Simba, and guess what? I'm going to target one of your big Olaf. I'm going to target one of your big Anna. And that is basically what Ruby Amethyst is trying to do, is that you try to control the board, and at the same time, you want a lot of draws because you're spending a lot in order to have full control of the state of the game. I want to do a big mention on Finders, Keepers, and Library, of course. Like what I said, it's a great card that allows you to refill your hand. Big shout out on Broomy as well. Broomy is an evasive card, which means if your character doesn't have evasive, they're not going to be able to remove this unless they have a removal card or a card that can damage it or damage any chosen character. But the thing is, Broomy doesn't mind getting removed, because if Broomy gets removed, you still get a draw, because that's what it does. When this character is banished, you may draw a card. Again, when you're controlling the board, I want to mention as well that how do I win the game if I just keep controlling the board? It all just shows to you what Ruby Amethyst is good with. While you're controlling the board, while you're drawing, you're also trying to poke with the lore. You're trying to quest here and there. Every chance that you get, you're definitely going to try to quest. And that's what Broomy does. That's what the library does. That's what these Archimedes does. This is what the Gale Spirit does, right? It's a 1/2 body. It's not huge, but if it gets banished on a challenge, it goes back to your hand. Also, I just want to mention the exertingsments, like Anna. It makes your opponent choose a card from their board to exert it, and then you have Anna, the big Anna as well. This is the shift target for it, which exerts all the characters on your opponent's board, and when they're all exerted, now they're open for an attack. You have cards like Snow Nana, which can rush the board and damage right away. And if you have something set up already, like what I said, you have Simba to help those setup characters to be able to remove your opposing enemy characters, to banish them. And you have Turbo as well right here that can rush into action, right? Let's not forget this amazing Elsa on the very corner. The light is hitting it, so you probably couldn't see it. But this Elsa as well is just an amazing card. It has that whole package. It's everything you want with the Ruby Amethyst card and their goal on this starter deck. It can rush. It can attack right away. It's evasive, meaning hard to damage or hard to deal with. And at the same time, when you play this character, exert opposing chosen character. I really think that this deck right here is a pretty well-rounded deck. this is gonna be very hard to beat. We have another box to open, which is Emerald Steel, but this right here is just so hard to beat, in my opinion. Are all the cards here gonna see play in the competitive side of things? I don't think so. I'm gonna be honest with you. But that's what a starter deck is. There are cards that's already gonna be competitive or looks good to join the meta, but there are also cards over here that it's a starter, something you can start with, right? But over time, as you acquire more cards, you slowly but surely upgrade these. So, if I'm gonna rate this out of 10, when it comes to a starter deck, I would probably give this a solid 9. Maybe a 10. Maybe a 10. Out of all the starter decks that Disney Lorcana released, I'm a big fan of the Steel Amethyst from set 2, but ever since then, I haven't seen a starter deck that feels super solid like this deck right here. I would highly recommend this deck to anyone who is starting Disney Lorcana. If you're starting on set 5, this is a deck that you should buy. This is a deck you should check out, at least. The reason why, as well, why I'm saying that is that I think this deck as a whole will teach you a lot of the fundamentals in card game that you need to learn. It will teach you about tempo. It will teach you about value trading. It will teach you about control. It will teach you an aspect of aggro as well, right? And it has a lot of mid-range stuff to it. I mean, at the end of the day, this is most likely a mid-range control deck if we're looking at it. It's not really a full control deck. It's a mid-range control deck. And it also will teach you when to draw in your matches. You don't always want to draw just because you have draw. You want more cards. You don't always have to draw. You gotta look for those openings when to actually draw. Control the board. When things slow down, refill your hand again, and then control the board some more. When things slow down, refill your hand again. Again, this is something that I would highly recommend. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. All right, everyone, we just did Ruby Amethyst, and now we are going to be doing Emerald Steel starter deck from set 5, Shimmering Skies. I'm super excited to check this one out too. There's a lot of new mechanics. Not really like super fresh mechanics, but there's something that Emerald is trying to do with Steel for this set. And I think we're going to see it on the starter deck. So this starter deck right here is Emerald Steel, and it has a foil Scar and a foil Kronk inside. Again, like what I said from the beginning, the deck has 60 cards on it, 11 damage counters, a paper playmat, a paper tracker token, and a game rules book. On top of that, there's a juicer as well. You get a free pack on this. Like what I said, the deck is around $17.99. About 5-6 pounds of that is already for the booster pack. So you're basically paying 12 pounds, 13 pounds for a fresh set of 60 cards. And you can just upgrade as you go if you want. But this version is a press sample version, so we're not going to see the pack, which is totally fine. But let's go check out what's inside this box. All right. I want to make sure that I don't wreck this box as well, so let's open it the proper way. All right. Ooh, successful. Very successful. Very nice. A little crack there again too. Oh, a second crack. I did this worse than I did the first one, but still pretty neat. And yeah. So we got all the stuff like what I said from earlier. Boom. We got the starter. We got this board thingy, playmat, paper playmat, and also we got the counters. Same thing as the first deck that we opened. This, however, is going to be very exciting because these are the cards for this starter deck. We're going to start it off with Kronk, Head of Security. It's a Shift 5, 7 cost, uninkable, 6/6 body that can quest for 1. During your turn, I love this card by the way, during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may play a character with cost 5 or less for free. And that's pretty ultra megatonic in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and put this over here on the side. You probably can't see it, which is fine. I'll put it here instead. So we can get to see the foils this time. Now the next one is Scar. This will be one of your draw engines for the starter deck. Scar, Vengeful Lion, 4/2 body, 4 costs, inkable, and can quest for 1. It has ward on it, so it's protected. It's safe from Glimmer versus Glimmer, and other cards that can remove this card. Whenever one of your characters challenges a damaged character, you may draw a card. So this will be one of your draw engines for this deck. The next one is Robin Hood. This one is the art is really cool, and it's a pretty cool card as well for these type of decks. For each 1 damage on opposing character, you pay 1 less to play this character. So if they have like a Maui on board and you put 4 damage on that, that's -4 on the cost. It doesn't say that for each opposing damage character. It says for each 1 damage on opposing characters. And also it has wards. This is a pretty scary card. I think compared to the Olaf that we saw from the other starter deck, I think this is much easier to get out there, and it has ward. It's going to be pretty scary. The foil is different? No, the foil is Kronk and Scar. All right. Now we have Shenzi here. We have 1 copy of Shenzi, another rare card. This character +1 strength for each other hyena character you have in play. So I'm guessing we're going to get a lot of hyenas in this deck. Whenever one of your hyena characters challenges a damaged character, gain 2 lore. And it has a 3/6 body, 5 cost inkable. It's pretty huge. I think on a starter deck, that's definitely a pretty cash money card. Now we have another rare over here, Isma. It's a 1/4, 4 uninkable, can quest for 2. During your turn, whenever one of your character banishes a character in a challenge, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character. I think this card is okay. Definitely not the strongest card on this starter, in my opinion. But moving on, we have our last rare is Tug of War. Choose 1, deal 1 damage to each opposing character without evasive, or deal 3 damage to each opposing character with evasive. This is a pretty neat card. It's very flexible in my opinion, and for a starter deck, that type of card is definitely pretty strong. Next one is our hyenas, like what we said. Shenzi, 2/3 body, evasive. When challenging a damaged character, this character gets +2 strength. Okay, we're gonna go move a little bit faster with this. It's usually these that we read. We have Little John, unless we see an ultra megatonic card like this one. We have an Ed. It's an uncommon, 2/4 uninkable, 4 costs, can quest for 3. Damage characters can't challenge this character. If you manage to damage one of their characters, like using Tug of War, no one can damage Ed from their board unless they have Rush, because then it would be a fresh card. Next one is Robin Hood. Shift 3, 3/5. This is the shiftable Robin Hood. This character +1 lore for each opposing damaged character in play. Again, this is what I was mentioning earlier before the opening, that this deck is aiming to do something this set, and that is what we usually call in other card games pings. It aims to ping, put a 1 damage character counter on a character, maybe 2, and from there you benefit a lot from it. The next one is our location for the deck. This one is Tropical Rainforest. Opposing damage characters gain Reckless. So if they don't want to exert their characters, guess what? Play this, the next turn, they will definitely exert their characters. And those characters can't quest. So they have to attack, which means they gain damage on them. Unless they have resist. The next one is Arthur. It's a 2 cost, 2/2, 2 quester. Next one is Sleepy. I really like this card. I just want to emphasize that I really love this card. This is one of those cards that tells a story, right? It's a bodyguard because it's one of the 7 dwarves, and it's a 0/4. Sleepy's sleeping. Sleepy's sleeping, and he can't damage any other card because he's asleep, but he's still trying to protect something. Next one is one of the cards that I think will be really, really good for this set. Is Simba, son of Mufasa, 3/5, 6 cost, inkable, and can quest for 1. This one, when you play this character, you may banish chosen item or location. I really, 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 really love this card. If you're in a battle for starter decks, this one is the one that's gonna take out the library. Or the sword from them. This, on the other hand, is possibly one of the best cards that has been released for set 5. This one is Speed, Games Referee, 3/3 cost, can quest for 1. When you play this character, opponents can't play actions until the start of your next turn. You basically prevent them from playing any action when you play it. It's an amazing card. If you know how to choose your moments with it, if you know there's an upcoming location or action play, you play that and you're basically safe for a whole turn. And you have 2 of them on the deck. Next one is Food Fight. I am not a big fan of this this card. The art is pretty nice though, but maybe on starter deck you can actually make use of this. So it's a 1 cost, uninkable. So that's one of the biggest downside. Your characters gain exert, and you pay 1. Exert one of your characters, and you pay 1 to exert them, and they deal 1 damage to chosen character this turn. I think it's a very okay card. Not good, but for starters, it might do some work. It might. The next one is Zazu. I think this will do a lot of work on a starter deck. Zazu, it's a 3/5 evasive, 5 cost, inkable. There's not much to say about that card except that it's gonna put a lot of pressure on the board. It can trade against a lot of characters because it has a pretty high willpower, and at the same time, it's evasive. Not a lot of characters can touch that, and it can quest for 2. So we got another hyena right over here. This one is a Ed Laughing Hyena, 2/3 body. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character. Again, for the ping deck, it's a really good synergy against with the other cards with this deck. This deck screams combo and synergy for me. It feels very mid-range and combo to me. Next one is Robin Hood, 2 costs, 2/2. When you play this character, if an opponent has a damaged character in play, gain 1 lore. Helps you finish the game, basically. And most likely you want to play that during mid-game once characters are already damaged. Unless, obviously, on turn 2, and you're going second, there's already a damaged character, then you can play that. Next one is another hyena, Banzai. Banzai, 2/2 cost. Can quest for 1. When you play this character, you may exert chosen damage character. This opens up for a combo again. When there's a damaged character already on the board, you play this, you exert them, and one of your characters will help finish off that character. The next one is Ulf. This card scares me. I don't know. Ulf, I'm not a big fan of clowns, and the thing is, I understand that Ulf is a mime, but clowns and mime are in the same book for me. They scare me. The art looks good, but it's scary at the same time for me. So basically, this is just a big character, the 4/3 body for 4 cost, and can quest for 2, but this character can't sing songs. I'm not sure if we have songs. Oh, we actually do. Right here. No, this is an action. Night Howler Rage. Draw a card, chosen character gains Reckless. Again, it helps you exert the opponent's cards. The next one is Hypnotic Deduction. I think this card is really good for this, for this deck. I also think that this card might see some meta plays in the future. Hypnotic Deduction, draw 3, then put 2 cards from your hand on the top of your deck in any order. Really, really good way to filter and find the right card for the right situation. The next one is Simba. Here's your baby Jafar, basically. Instead of 4 cost, it's a 3 cost, 3 inkable with a 2/4 body instead of a 3/4, and it can quest for 1. It literally is Jafar from set 2, but the beauty of this is you can play it much early, and maybe on a deck like this, or a starter deck, this can get you a lot of draw. It's a pretty healthy body, 2/4. The next one is Rudy. There's not much to say for Rudy, except for it's a 1 cost, inkable, 2/2. Most likely, you try to play 1 on turn 1, and then you ink the other one if you get another one. The next one, this card is a pretty memey card for me. It's the Royal Guard, the Bovine Protector. It's the 1/7 card. It's pretty huge. It's a guard and it's a protector, but it doesn't have the bodyguard keyword on it, which I think is pretty funny. There's nothing much to say about it except for that. The next one is Kronk. This Kronk is your shift target for this deck. It's a Challenger +1. It's a pretty big body, right? It's basically a 2/4 when you're challenging. But the beauty of it, unlike the Jafar from set 1, or not Jafar, unlike the Dr. Facilier from set 1, it's a 1/4 instead of a 0/4. It's basically a healthy shift target for your big Kronk, and you want to shift that 100% sure. This one, though, it's a really cool art. One of my favorite art for the set as well. It's Hey Hey Protective Rooster. It's a 4/5 body that can quest for 2. It's 5 costs and inkable. And it's a bodyguard. It's pretty huge. Now, here's our last card, and it's a song. When Will My Life Begin? Chosen character can't challenge during their next turn, and you get a card. You draw a card. So, what do I think about this deck? The deck literally is screaming mid-range combo for me. It's very mid-rangey. The bodies are mid-range bodies, right? It can go pretty fast on some turns. It also has control aspects to it, and that's what makes it a mid-range deck. It has a little bit of both, right? These type of decks excel during the mid-game. Also, since I mentioned that it's a combo deck, this type of deck also relies on synergy. So make sure that you sequence right when you're playing this deck. Maybe ping first and then play the next card that you play is something that synergizes really well with damage character from the opposing board, right? And also, I think as a whole, the deck is pretty good as well. I gotta say that the deck for the starter decks for set 5 has been stepped up. I really love the starter decks for set 5. I gotta say, they both look pretty solid to me. You got a lot of good cards that will see meta play, right? Simba's gonna see some meta play. Pete is gonna see some meta play, right? And possibly the Kronk will see some meta play. But let's not count out that if ping decks become meta for next set, a lot of these cards are gonna be in it, because almost probably 50%, maybe more, of these cards are cards that synergizes with that whole ping deck. I really like it. Like what I said, a lot of solid mid-range bodies. You have a few reliable draw mechanics, right? You have Scar, you have this Simba as well. You have cards that basically pays for itself, right? You have Hypnotic Deduction to find certain cards from the deck. Whatever you need to do the combos, right? It helps you find those pieces. And as a whole as well, the deck packs up some speed. You got Zazu, you got Ed, you got this big Robin Hood right here. This big Robin Hood is gonna do work on a starter deck battle. You also have this Robin Hood right here that gains some +1 lore for every opposing damage characters. And like what I said, these 2 cards right here are pretty ultra megatonic. meta cards, 100% sure. Simba and Pete, and possibly some of these other cards might see some play as well, such as maybe Tug of War, right? Or maybe Kronk. This Kronk right here is amazing. I really, really like this Kronk. Again, for Steel Amber, maybe not for this deck, but maybe it can do well on this deck as well. Maybe for Steel Ruby as well, it might be able to do some stuff. But for the most part, you get a couple of cards that are gonna see 100% some meta play, and you have a lot of cards that if Ping Dex becomes good, they're gonna see a lot of play. Other than that, that's about it. I enjoy looking at these cards, and I just want to say as well that big thumbs up for both of the starter decks this set. A lot of potential for it. If you're starting Lorcana, these decks might be the way to go. Especially if you're in a budget, you get this. And just to remind you, you also get a pack from these starter decks. So opening those packs, there's 12 cards in it. One of them is guaranteed steel. One of them is guaranteed emerald. And you get a chance to upgrade the deck right away. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something from it as well. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. If you learned something or just enjoyed the video, comment down below as well. Or just leave an emoji. And don't forget to smash that subscribe, like, and bell button. And don't forget as well to check us out on our other socials and stop by on the stream. Me and the chat will try to help you out. Other than that, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace!